Now it's actually a really calm start. We have dry conditions. We are looking out at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s already, but look at this brown shaded area, and that in fact extends all the way through our area, is going to be a wind advisory which goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning. A little bit of flooding concern up to the north as well with the flood watch far northern counties. We already have winds sustained, not gusting, sustained in the upper teens and low 20s, and we expect that to go up. We expect winds gusting into the 50-mile-per-hour range a little later on today. It's currently 58 degrees though at Midway, 55 for Gary, 54 Rensselaer, but dry. It's not going to stay dry though. Big system back on off to the west, and that stuff is working in our direction, running into some warmer air. So that's why Storm Prediction Center has some big concerns where that storm system will collide with the milder air mass. You can see the greatest concern area in the orange. That is the enhanced risk, but we're in a slight risk zone up here ourselves, so we do have some worries about the potential for severe weather. And here's a look at your severe weather threats. Wind, our greatest concern, so damaging wind gusts within thunderstorms. Hail is not really a concern today. Perhaps isolated tornadoes. I think that's much more likely around the enhanced risk area, and a flooding concern as well, just from possible heavy rain that's going to come on through. Here we are at noontime. It's kind of getting started at noon, but there we go. Wow, look at that. 2 o'clock. Waukegan, O'Hare, Midway, all potentially dealing with some strong to severe storms. So we cannot rule out the possibility of looking at that activity into the early afternoon to mid-afternoon. But then on the backside of the storm system, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of snow in the mix. I don't think it's going to stick because temperatures are going to be pretty warm, but it may fall from the sky, and it's rather demoralizing after reaching a high into the mid-60s today. Tomorrow we're down to 42, and then we settle in for the 40s, but rather calm weather into the weekend.
We've been looking at a very active radar over there. You were busy on the phone getting new information.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the tornado warning that was issued for Livingston County, as I said, was moving so quickly at about 55 miles an hour. It's past the time of the expiration. They let it go. They did not continue it on off to the north and east yet. But when you have this sort of environment going right now, everything's moving so quickly. There's obviously a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. We have to be very weather aware, because not only are these cells moving at a quick pace, 55-mile-per-hour forward motion with these cells, but we've got an unstable environment situated right over us right now. Plenty of warmth to sort of lead the charge on this. When you look outside right now, you're going to see a lot of cloud cover. That is because we also have showers and storms in the city. They have not reached severe limits, but certainly dealing with that activity as well. So here's a look at the weather watchers. They've got temps in the 50s. I want to get right to the radar because that's what we need to talk about right now. This is the cell that prompted the warning. A new warning was not issued at this point. However, it's moving very quickly on off towards areas like Joliet, like Wilmington, to Orland Park. This sort of activity, this sort of forward motion takes it in the direction of the north and east, moving super quickly. Now put this into motion here, and you're going to see just how quickly these storms are developing and progressing into the city, to Evanston, and then back a little bit over here around the rim of the lake into northwest Indiana. So I'm taking you in right now. This is the cell that prompted the warning. Area of concern right in here, and at this point no additional warning has been posted, but I think we need to be very careful with this cell. Still a little bit of rotation lingering within this area, so Nevada, Kinsman, if you're moving up towards Good Farm, these areas, we do have some concern. Get up into the city, and it's very active here as well. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, very dark. You've got some cells around the city of Chicago. Back to the north of Orland Park, Downers Grove, Joliet. Over here in northwest Indiana, too, just across the line in Dalton and Bloom, but then around Gary, St. John, Maryville, Cedar Lake. So it's an active radar setup right now. I think these storms are going to be here and gone within the next hour, hour and a half. Quick forward motion on this, and then the threat really does concentrate a little bit farther to our south, where they've had some really massive concern in terms of severe weather down around parts of central Indiana. This whole system is the one that did the bombogenesis, or bombed out. You heard about that probably yesterday, creating those blizzard conditions across Colorado. It's a very powerful system, and it's moving in our direction. That's why it was able to bring about not only the intensity of storms today as it runs into this warmer air mass, but also the potential for there to be very gusty winds. Now, we are in the slight risk zone. The more intense activity likely to be to our south and east across the enhanced risk area, but slight risk is in place across Chicagoland, eastern half of, and then back half across the west, marginal risk, which is a lower risk. My main concerns from this would be isolated tornadoes, which of course we've already seen that isolated tornado warning. We've also got some concerns over damaging winds. Hail's not as much of a threat, and flooding, I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue because everything's moving so quickly. Watch this. By about 1 o'clock, we still have some cells that will be of concern here. Waukegan, McHenry, down to Kankakee. That stuff pushes out of the way, and then there's really nothing after that. We see snow on the backside of the system. That'll be your problem tomorrow morning, but for right now, we still have the intensity of storms in place. It's feeding off the warmth that's in play. We have 60 degrees in Ottawa right now. 54 for Midway, and look at these winds. This is part of the reason that those storms are moving so very quickly, because we have winds that are gusting into the 20s and 30s. We'll have the latest for you, and of course, keep you updated through the day.